What do you think, Rick?
You know, 10 days into this, Sean, it's really troubling to see the Malaysians completely messing this up. And a White House, earlier today, we had Jay Carney very comfortable with saying the Malaysians are in charge. Now, I don't understand a White House that's not curious about what's going on, because we don't know the answers. But let's just assume, for the sake of an argument, that it could be terrorist related. And if it is, do you know who the target of that terrorism is going to be? It's going to be the United States of America. So our president has to get curious and realize that the Malaysians are messing this up.
Why would you say that when most of the nationals on board were headed to Beijing and going to China, there was one American on board?
Look, Sean, we have the best technology in the world. The Malaysians don't. We've waited for way too long for the Malaysian technology to catch up and give us information. We know how to lead these investigations. We should have been there in the beginning. We don't wait for the Malaysians to invite us in if it happens to be a possible terrorist attack. If it wasn't a terrorist attack, then I think it would be a different story. But because precisely we would be the target and we have the technology, we need to get to the bottom of this, and we need to not wait for the Malaysians to invite us in.
Philip, going back to what seems to be corroborated reports, we know that the transponder's off, the communications are shut off on the plane. We have these alternating, dramatically fluctuating altitudes of the airplane, coupled with the report last night that the flight path was altered by computer command, not by manual control. Doesn't that say that this was all done by design and that somebody had to be in that cockpit?
Heck no, it tells me maybe. I found it in 25 years of analysis at CIA on everything from Iraq to Al-Qaeda, that the difference between what we think and what we know is routinely blurred over by analysts. We've seen this in the past week. We know something one day from leadership in Malaysia. The next day, we actually don't know it.
Well,
so
wait a minute,
before we say something is a fact,
we got to add logic to this. All right, so the transponders and that device is off. Okay, we can argue technical, maybe not technical. Certainly that we know now the pilot has the ability to do that. Then we've got these alternating altitudes. Now, if it was on automatic pilot, you know, how come it goes up to it ascends up to an altitude of 45,000 feet? Then we've got one report saying that Maldives, that in fact they saw it at a very low altitude and identified this as a Malaysian airliner. So we've got those reports that seem to indicate somebody's flying this aircraft, and then it's altered, the flight path is altered by computer command. Are you saying that that would be a malfunction? That seems odd to me.
No, I'm saying when we don't know what happened, we take information and line it up into a pretty line. This is Saddam had WMD. Saddam used WMD. Saddam lied to the UN about WMD. Saddam had dual-use facilities. Saddam used WMD against his own citizens, and therefore, yes, he did. And therefore, we take that into a straight line and say it must be because he's spending so much capital avoiding the UN that he still has it. We line those up well. It didn't work. We don't know what happened here, and we're coming up with stories to explain it.
What do you think, Rick?
You know, Sean, the assumption in that analysis, which I think is correct, is that there's actually a lead country and someone who's looking at the facts and getting rid of certain items as not truthful or not believable. And we don't have a country that's leading this. We do have the United States and the White House that's willing to let the Malaysians lead, and they're messing it up. We've got to get to the bottom of this.
I do agree with you, but you've got to. I'm surprised both of you aren't leaning with me towards the idea if the flight path was altered by a computer command, not manually, that tells me that somebody in that cockpit knew how to change that. And that also tells me with the transponders turned off, it would seem unlikely. It's near the pilot. They have the ability to do it. The alternating altitudes also similarly tell a story of an airplane that is in somebody's control. Do you agree with that, Rick?
I think the evidence is pointing to the fact that this plane, it was under the control of someone other than who was supposed to have it.
All right. The mystery deepens. Appreciate both of your insights, and we'll continue to watch this.